All right, welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. I'm your man, Big Jack. This is where we prove we are stronger together. That if each one would reach one, we can all grow and glow. And a day it's another beautiful day. Matter of fact, it's kind of like a birthday or anniversary because now the show is actually, or the channel is actually over 1 year old. We just crossed the 1 year mark. I think it was on Friday that now we're actually over 1 year. So it's been a very busy year. Super excited. I'm so glad to be here. We've definitely making a brand change that will be coming in November. We got a new spinoff that's happening in November. We've crossed the 3,000 watch hour mark. We got over 200,000 views and 600 videos that went out. And I'm super excited. I know it's like hard to tell, like, hey, you don't show it, but it's like it's unreal right now. And it doesn't even feel like it's real yet. So it's just like I'm still gathering all the pieces together to say, hey, this is where we are. So thank you for everyone who has supported the channel, who has viewed any videos, who has left any comments, who've been any part, have been on the stage with us as guests on any of the panels and even on the shows. I thank you for all that you have done, and I'm looking forward to bigger and better things in the next month or two, and then definitely 2026 we're going to blow up. So just get ready. You also can now get membership. So there's actually membership selections that you can be, super chats and all those other things that's out there that you can now contribute and be part of. And you only get the videos right now. You get the videos a little bit earlier than anyone else and things like that. But we're building that brand as well, or the things that you would get for being a member. So we're still in the process, still growing, still moving, and I'm super excited to be here with you today. So I don't want to prolong anything, and I know this is rough, so I gotta get my man up on the stage because he's having a hard time. So let's get him up on the stage so we can kick this off. Then hold up. My man, what's up?
Oh, man, what's happening, Big Jack? My man, what's going on, sir?
It's all good. Look like you're having a hard time. What's going on, my brother?
Well, no, man. Well, first of all, got my pink on today in support of cancer awareness, and I'm gonna make sure that everyone stays vigilant. Ladies, get your test. Gentlemen, support the women in your life to make sure they get the mammograms and get the support they need from us. So went to my grandson's football game today, and that's what they were doing. So I looked the part. It was either this or my pink Easter suit, but I figured I'd put the shirt on instead of the suit. Just take it easy on them. Didn't want to hurt them too bad today.
Yeah, no,
Other
like
than that, man, I'm in here watching this Commanders Cowboys game,
oh,
and
wow.
the Washington Commanders are getting the brakes beat off of them right now, and it's been a lot of home cooking, but it's okay, man. I mean, that's what it
Yeah.
is, and not because I dislike real Cowboys fans, like from Mississippi and Dallas and Texas and Atlanta and everywhere else in the world. But DC Cowboys fans are the worst.
Right.
DC stands for District of Columbia, not Dallas Cowboys. And right now, man, my phone is blowing up. I'm getting bullied by all my Cowboys fans. So that's what it is, man. It's the NFL, baby. It's football
Yeah,
season. So
that's it. Well, it's the NFL. That means not for long. So the
not for
Cowboys won't be
long.
winning for long. We already
No,
know that. So,
absolutely. We already know
so
that.
don't let them get their hopes up too dang high
Nah,
because we know
nah.
that they will fold like a lawn chair right after this
Yeah,
game.
all the ways, man. I mean, all the time. They haven't won a Super Bowl since Moby Dick was a guppy, so it's fine. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. Well,
Yeah,
the Commanders, well, with the new name, they haven't got one either, and they've changed
yeah,
names.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's all good.
Three,
It's all good.
three receivers, man.
Yeah, you
Now
missing
three
three.
receivers. Yeah,
Yeah, missing three key
but it's football.
receivers. That makes it tough, man. That makes it tough. So
It's a game
the
of
good thing
attrition, right?
is, it's early in the season. The Cowboys, Washington, have always had this little back and forth. So it's your turn, then it'll be our turn. That's just
Yeah,
normally how it
yeah,
goes. So,
yeah.
but
It's a
it's all
game of
good.
attrition. So I
Yeah,
mean, that's what it
yeah,
is, man.
yeah.
You got to suit up with who you got to suit up with who you have. So
Well,
that's
and
what
that's
it
the
is.
thing. They're all professionals.
Yeah,
So
all
for
professionals.
anybody to
Yeah,
say, we missing this, but it's like all of those people
doesn't
out there are
matter.
pros. So yeah, don't you
Doesn't
don't
matter.
you don't get that excuse either.
Yeah,
Oh, because when they was missing their quarterback, Washington, they won.
yeah,
So they had their backup
yeah,
quarterback and won big that week. So
yeah,
it's not
yeah,
about so
yeah.
everybody got their suit on, everybody play. Hey, we got a lot going on, man. We got a lot
Yes,
going
we
on.
do.
We hit a lot of things, so I want to thank you too. Like I've been thanking anyone, but I want to thank you because it's been amazing ride so far, and having you as a co-host has just
Hey, man,
uh, been awesome for me. So I want to thank you as we crossed our anniversary. I call it a little birthday, but a little
yeah,
anniversary. So the
yeah,
channel is now Big Jack Storytime channel is over 1 years old. So I think Friday we
yeah.
crossed the 1 year mark. And it's just been, the emails definitely different. Emails coming from YouTube now is totally different than it was just last week.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah. You
so
part of
yeah,
the part of the team now. But I got to tell you, man. And then I'm not going to belabor this, but again, bro, you painted the picture for me, and you have pretty much checked every box and
mm,
every goal. You hit every mark that you pretty much set for yourself. And I didn't know how because I was new to this YouTube thing. I didn't know how it was, what it looked like, and how it was going to come about. But I will say, man, just so the world knows, you make it look easy, but you have been working hard.
oh wow.
You have been on the grind, and you stayed on your square, respected the process, and here you are, man. So I just want to commend you for that, man. And I know you don't take a lot of compliments easy, but bro, I'm proud of you, man. I'm very
No,
proud of you. I'm
I
very
don't.
proud of you. I don't
That
call
that
you
was
all shucks for nothing. I don't call you all shucks for nothing.
yeah. That
So
was
yeah,
that was from my days of playing high school and college football. Yeah, I read my press. My head got so big I couldn't even put it in a helmet anymore. So I learned not to do all that.
not to be,
Yeah,
yeah,
we just gonna do it. But
yeah,
bro, we got a wonderful guest for today.
yes, yes,
Definitely want to get this person up on the stage so we can get to know her and learn more about her, and hopefully sharpen our irons as we learn of all the things that she's been through. So I don't even want to prolong it any longer. So we want to
yes.
here. Let's get her up on the stage then.
Let's go.
All right, we have Fedora. How you doing? Welcome to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm good. Excited to be here.
Excited to
Thank
have you.
Yeah, this is Iron Sharpening Iron Show. This is my man Walt Talks up here. Just letting you know we are live on Facebook, we're live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch. We will cut some of these videos and put them on Instagram, and then we'll put them on TikTok as well. So, this is it. So I'm excited. I gotta let everybody that's here watching, and I know a lot of times like you come on so late, 7 o'clock, blah blah blah. Can you explain or tell us where you're located and what time it is there?
Yes, I can, Big Jack. It is Prague, Czech Republic, and it is 1:08 a.m. right now. It is 1 in the morning.
Wow. So for all you
So
out there watching this that's not in the Prague, Czech Republic, come on now, I want to hear it because it's 1 o'clock. You're on our
good
stage. So
morning, everybody.
Good
good morning.
morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you, and you are a trooper. I am 100%
Yes.
saying thank you for being up here, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you and hearing what you have because the little bit I do know, I'm blown away. So I know that everything else is going to be amazing. So with that, please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. Okay, so my name is Fedora. I was born in Long Island, New York. I was adopted in Belgium, and I hail from a very Haitian family. So proud to be Haitian. Country's in ruins right now, but that is my background. Those are my roots. So that's where I'm from. Been living in Prague, Czech Republic almost 5 years. Been living outside of the States almost 13 years. Traveling the world, doing a lot of things. We'll get into it later. But my careers have spanned from politics to acting to singing to teaching. So there we go.
All right. Okay. Okay. All right. So you said you've been, well, you started off saying you was adopted. So if you
Yeah.
don't mind just sharing just a little bit about that process. And I understand adoption. We've been through the process, but how did it get to that point where you were adopted? If you know, and if you can share.
Sure. So my story is quite interesting because the adoption wasn't legal. So basically, in Haitian families, which it's a Caribbean island, small Caribbean island, right? And a lot of times, if there's hardship in the family, they'll just kind of pass you off to grandma, pass you off to an aunt or whatever. And in my case, my mom and my biological mother and my biological father, both from Haiti, were new immigrants to the United States. So didn't speak much English, didn't have like good jobs, not what they were worth anyway. And they split, and my mother was unable to take care of me. So we had a very distant cousin by marriage who happened to be married to a Belgian man. And she asked her if she could take me in for a year. It was supposed to be a year. So she basically sent me on a plane with a stranger. Thank God this was back in 1990. I don't know. We could trust people maybe a little bit more back then. But she sent me on a plane with a stranger and said, like, make sure she makes it to Brussels, Belgium. Hand her off to the cousin. And that's how I ended up in Belgium without adoption papers or anything. I was just there on my American passport. Ended up with my Haitian Belgian mom and her white Belgian husband, my dad. And 5 years later, I was still there. And that's how I ended up staying in Belgium, illegally adopted. So I do not have European citizenship. A lot of people ask. I have one passport. It is an American passport. That's it. But I was there 5 years until I was taken back and brought back to the States. And so I spent most of my life going between the US and Belgium, back and forth.
Now you said you were taken back. What does that mean? I'm just trying to get a grasp on that. So.
Yeah. So bit of a traumatic start to life, I would say. By the time I was 3, I guess, everybody kind of realized that my birth mother wasn't gonna, probably that she wasn't gonna take me back. Basically, they were like, okay, we've accepted that this girl is now here in Belgium with us, right? So grew up, had a family, had my mom, had my dad, had their whole family, had a house, was going to school in Belgium, speaking Dutch and speaking French. At that time, I didn't speak English, I didn't speak Creole, and I didn't know my birth mom. One day, my Belgian mom wanted to take me to Haiti, where we're from, right? Where our roots are. She wanted to take me to Haiti, and she said, we have to pass through JFK. I was about 6 years old at this point. We have to pass through JFK. So her idea was, why don't we go see your birth mother? A lot of people in Belgium said, this is not a good idea. I don't know how they all saw it, but they all said, that's not a good idea. She doesn't know the woman. She hasn't had contact with her. Let it be. She's your child now. Just move on. Well, my mother, being a good Christian lady, was like, no, I feel that it's my duty. She needs to meet her mother. Well, meet we did. And I don't want to badmouth her in any way. Mental illness is real. Personality disorders are real. And this woman suffered from whatever it may be. And she decided in a moment after seeing me that she just wanted to take me out of nowhere, that she wanted me to stay. She wanted to keep me. I didn't know her, didn't speak her language. I looked at my Belgian mom and was like, why are you abandoning me? What did I do wrong? She was crying. I was crying. She left. She ended up going to Haiti on the trip by herself, went back to Belgium and showed up with no child. That's I do say it as a kidnapping because it was from one day to the next for a child who has no knowledge of what's going on. That's exactly what that felt like. It felt like I had just been displaced, living with a stranger and her man at the time. Didn't know these people. All of a sudden, I've just been abandoned by my family because this person said, I'm taking her, and took me by force. It was a very, there was a lot of confrontation in the airport, and she was yelling and screaming and carrying on. And my mom shows back up in Belgium, and my dad's like, "There's our kid." She's like, "I don't have her. She's gone." And
Wow.
that's kind of how I lost my family overnight. So, yeah.
That's I don't even know how to even address that. So you were born in the United States,
Hmm.
right? So but your parents are from Haiti.
Yes.
Your birth
Yeah.
parents are from Haiti.
Yeah.
Then you were sent to a family in Belgium,
Yeah.
okay, who raised you up to around 5 years old.
Yeah. Almost
But then,
6.
but then when you
Hmm.
came back to the States to pass through, you
Yep.
was now back with your birth family who you didn't know.
Yep.
And okay, all right. So now I'm right in the right page. I'm right there.
You're
Okay.
right there, right there.
So
The
how
layover turned into a full full 10 years.
so now how long did you stay with your birth mom? How long did you stay, or was that a permanent thing from there?
From that moment on, it was permanent. I stayed with her until I graduated university and left the
Oh,
States. Um, the arrangement that was made at that time. So, of course, after the initial shock of everyone in Belgium, the entire family, the schools, imagine, because
Right.
it was Christmas vacation. I was just going through New York for my mama and I to go to Haiti, have a little Christmas vacation, and go back to school. So the schools are like, what? Okay, so she's just gone. Okay, cool. My friends, everybody, just
mm,
gone, just completely disappeared. That's it. But after the initial shock wore off, the deal that my Belgian parents made with my birth mom was, we cannot report you because we never legally
You really adopted
adopted
her.
her. So
Right.
there were no papers. She said, so we cannot go to the law. We're not going to call protective service. And we're not going to do any of that. What you're going to do is you're going to allow her to come to Belgium every summer and spend the summer vacation with us. She'll do the school year in the US, and we will pay the ticket, and she will come and spend the summer with us.
mm,
All good and well. That happened up until 9/11. After 9/11, my birth mother had an excuse to say, she can't get on a plane. Planes are scary. Something really bad could happen. So then she really cut off contact, and I didn't go back to Belgium for 7 years.
right. Yeah, because
Wow.
that would have had to been you would have been, let me see, 5 or 6 years old when it all went down.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then you're looking at another. So around 11 years old is when it was
Mm-hmm.
cut off because of 9/11. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because if I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken anything, I think we talked before that you were born in 1990. Uh,
Yeah.
so it's hard to believe because I graduated high school in 1989. So,
Oh man. Oh man.
And I
so yeah,
graduated in 81.
he
Oh
graduated in
man.
81. So yeah,
Yeah.
I
so
hear
we're
ya.
like these old guys up on this stage talking to you. But anyway, but with all that being said, that's a remarkable story. It was amazing the part that one, your birth mom and your adopted mom, let's say Belgian mom, birth mom,
Yeah.
anyway came up with a agreement that you was
Mhm.
able to see both. So that's where that back and forth came from. Okay.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
so now,
It,
how hard was it to learn the English language? Because that was now, even though you were born in America,
You're right.
English was like your third language in a sense,
Yep.
if not. Okay,
Yep.
so how hard was it, or what was the difficult? Because English ain't that it's not that easy anyway. I mean, we speak it's like some weird stuff, but how hard was it to transition over and learn one being born American, but now learning how to speak English?
No, I think you know what? This is what's great about kids, right? And this is why I love teaching kids as
resilient.
well. Yeah, the brain of a child is, I mean, hey, all of our brains can be that amazing, but obviously when they're that young, it's just so open and receptive to whatever you feed it. So I learned really fast. Like I can't, it's weird because I know that this is the story, but I almost can't remember a time that I didn't speak English. But from the stories, you know, my Belgian mom often tells me like, your mom would call me and be like, I don't know what she's saying because she's speaking Dutch and I don't understand. She's crying and she's hungry. I don't know, you know. So yeah, there was obviously a learning curve. I remember being in kindergarten and having to learn English with, you know, with everybody else, but I learned very fast. That's just the child's brain, I guess. I picked up very fast because I mean, by the time I was in first, second grade, I was already, you know, fine and top of my class and everything. So I don't remember having trouble with the language. In fact, I started picking up our native language, which is Creole. By the time I was 7, 8, because that's what I was hearing in the house, I was already saying Creole words.
Right.
So yeah, I picked up the languages quite fast.
Okay.
How explain to me, give me your mindset though, the back and forth for the summer. So how did that go? I mean, did it cause you angst, anxiety? I mean, explain that back and forth to me. When you would go for the summer back to Belgium for the summer and come back to the States, how did that go?
That was rough, and that's where a lot of my I can't sit still now.
Okay.
As a 35-year-old, I just can't not move. Like after about a year in a country, 2 years, I start getting really antsy. And I'm sure that comes from all the programming from back then. It was really rough because I knew already that young that I preferred Europe to the States, that it really was like living in two completely polar opposite worlds, right? Because everything they say about the Europeans is true. Laid back, relaxed, much slower pace. Now, this is in comparison to New York, where I was, right? So you're talking busy, bustling, crazy, super populated, right? Always busy, city that never sleeps. Versus in Belgium, I wasn't in Brussels. I was in the countryside of Belgium. That's where my parents live. So you're talking farmland, corn, horses, chickens in the backyard, 3 farms in the family, food extremely fresh. Literally go to the backyard and pick the rosemary, pick the thyme, pick the lettuce, the cabbage, everything. We didn't buy food. Our food was in the garden. All we bought was meat. And then in the US, having to do the processed foods, not having fresh food, you know, it's very, very confusing. So I just remember every single summer in the airport, me saying goodbye to my parents it was all of us just bawling in tears. And I remember particular years where I would just look at my mom, my Belgian mom, and say, don't send me back there. I don't want to go. I don't want to go back. And she's like, I can't do anything. I can't keep you legally. So it was always a push. It was always a push to get back to the States, then readjust. And then when I was in the States, we were moving so much because mom wasn't stable. Mom was a single parent.
Wow.
Mom had a lot of men coming and going into the house. So it was like, no, I grew up in chaos. I grew up in complete chaos and completely confused as a person.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's just listening. I mean, it's tough when you're all in the same state and have to go back and forth between mom and dad. To imagine two families. Yeah, I'm talking birth mom, adopted mom, and going back and you saying, this is my real family. It's the ones in Belgium because that's who raised me, but this is who birthed me. And it's like, yeah, I can.
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
The psychological that like game that plays with you. Oh, the worst part was when my birth mom was like, I don't want you calling her mom anymore. Because I used to call her mom because I was the first person I called mom. And now all of a sudden she's like, I want you to call her tati, in French, tati, which is auntie. And I was like, well, that's just weird. Now I gotta call my mom auntie? Like what? No.
Wow.
No.
Yeah. So, yeah, but you did say you stayed in the States and you were able to graduate. You said university. So what school did you go to and what was your studies, if you don't mind sharing that?
Yeah, so I went from the Northeast all the way down. I started in New York, then we moved to North Carolina. So I was in Charlotte
Okay.
until beginning of high school. And then I finished my high school in Florida, Orlando, Florida. Went to Lake Mary High School, and then when I graduated, I stayed local because Florida had scholarships at the time,
Mm-hmm.
state scholarships, and I earned one of those. Had a 75% scholarship to UCF, so University of Central Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Now, studying that was very interesting because I come from a Haitian family. So, you have the expectation of being one of like three things. You can be a doctor, you can be a lawyer, you can be an engineer. That's about it. That's doctor, lawyer. The rest of it, like none of this artsy stuff, none of
Waste of
this.
time.
Yeah, don't do that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
why? Why? That's a hobby. Fine for you to do that as long as you are passing your classes in uni, right? So I went there super ambitious and being the overachiever I was. I started with a double major in molecular microbiology and mechanical engineering. Did about 3.5 years of that. Loved it, mind you, loved it because I wanted to be a biomedical engineer, but my university at the time, UCF, did not have a biomed program. So I said, oh, really? Looked at the course catalog and said, what do I need to become an engineer in biomed? Okay, a microbiology degree and a mechanical engineering degree? Why not? And while we're at it, since I love politics, why don't I go ahead and get a minor in political science as well? Because, hey, Obama's running for president, and this will be the first time we have a Black president. So I jumped on that boat too. So I didn't sleep in uni at all. I did not sleep. I did those two majors and that minor for almost 4 years, but it caught up to me. Um, Engineering is hard, y'all. I was not, I was struggling. I was really struggling through some of those courses, and I was running out of money fast. I was running out of scholarship money. Then you got my mother again, who's unwell, who's taking my scholarship money, spending it on her own
Oh,
stuff,
wow.
buying cars, taking it to do God knows what. And I'm over here in university, hungry and starving and struggling and asking teachers for help. So at that point, I went to my guidance counselor and I said I may have to drop out of university. Mind you, I started as an honors student with AP credits and IB credits, coming in with almost 2 years of coursework. And here I am in my final year about to just drop out.
Wow.
And the teachers who had me and knew me all banded together and said, this is one of our best students. Like we cannot allow that to happen. And I got a credit. Ambassador Harriet Elam Thomas, former U.S. ambassador, and Professor John Bercia, who has since passed away, but they pulled money out of their pocket, which I think wasn't even legal. And they said, we're going to start a private fund. And they funded my final year of university. And we decided that I had enough credits plus my Obama campaign work. I worked both Obama campaigns. So with the Obama campaign work, I had been very active in the College Democrats and all of that. They said, we'll give her 1 year and she can graduate with the bachelor's in political science. But that means I had to drop the other two, and I don't have a diploma in microbiology or in engineering. But hey, I did the coursework and I ended up graduating with a bachelor's in political science, and then went on to do 2 masters in peace and conflict studies, international relations.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
It's
like, man, it's been a long life.
I mean, since you went in, I was like, okay, so we call you doctor, we call you lawyer, engineer, and he's like, nope.
As I sit here, look on the refrigerator at my 6th grade spelling champ certificate, I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, my mom still got that macaroni. You still got that macaroni.
Oh my God. Are you serious? So this is what I enjoy. And this is what I sense talking to you. Your energy is infectious.
Oh,
and I'm guessing you get that a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm not a big zodiac guy, but like, what is your zodiac sign? Let's start with that.
I'm a Libra.
A Libra, okay. All right.
I'm a Libra.
So like when you didn't skip a class and you caught up, you learned English and you stayed with your class,
Mhm.
and then of course you've been ahead of your class pretty much forever. Like, how do your peers, the people in your cohort, relate to you? Because you're kind of like a unicorn. You know what I mean? I mean, like you you're just out of here when it comes to education, when it comes to life experience, when it comes to life skills, when it comes to resilience. You know, so how did you get through all of this? I mean, explain that to us, please.
That's all right. That's a great question. No, you know what? It's so interesting when I look at myself now and
Hmm.
how I'm surrounded now versus back then.
Hmm.
Because y'all know kids are mean, and
Absolutely.
it depends on
100%.
like what schools you go to.
Right.
If you're kind of more in the hood, like I
Hmm.
really had both experiences. I was in
Hmm.
Catholic school at sometimes, then I was in really ghetto schools like in Charlotte.
Hmm.
And it was, I mean, I actually didn't have that many friends. Like
Okay.
I was so focused on school because that was the only constant in my life. It was
Hmm.
like everything else sucks. Home life
Okay.
sucks. My
Hmm.
mom won't let me have friends. I can't like go out. I didn't go to the mall or hang out with friends. Couldn't go to parties. Couldn't do any of that.
Wow.
So I really mostly I was a nerd. I was a book nerd. I was science fair. You know, I won the science
Hmm.
fair and did like the captain of the book club. Was on the chess
Hmm.
team. All that. It wasn't until about ninth grade when I got into choir and
Okay.
music that I started to have some
Okay.
friends.
Okay.
And those were the people who were in choir were my friends. As I got through high school, I mean, actually being a unicorn meant I could kind of jump around.
Right.
Like no one hated me.
Right.
No one really like wanted to mess with me necessarily. And
Right.
in fact, because I was kind of one of the top of the class,
Hmm.
most of my time in school, it was about people wanting to cheat off of me and get the
Absolutely.
answers to the tests from me.
You'd be my
Okay.
best friend, 100%.
It was
Oh, I'd
like,
be buying you lunch
hey,
every day. Hey,
it was kind of like that.
Fedora. Yeah.
No, exactly. It was like, hey, so
Yeah.
about that math test that's
Yeah.
coming up, like, what are
Yeah.
we gonna do? You know? And then when I got to university, everything changed.
Hmm.
Um, I don't like walk around like I don't walk around going, "Hey, how are you doing?" So I speak 5 languages and lived in 9 countries.
Mm.
It'll come as it'll come.
Hmm.
But I think, and that may be the Libra side of me. I'm so good at one-on-ones. I
Hmm.
do. I connect with people so
Hmm.
easily one-on-one because I have been through so much, because I have such a wealth of experience. How I managed to use that was just to relate to a person one on one. If they came to I found that a lot of people would come to me to tell me their problems. A lot of people
Hmm.
would come and just, they would say something and then they would see that I care, that I genuinely care. And I would give back some advice. And that's how the story would come out like, oh, wow. And you understand me because you've been through this too. And that's how, like in uni, that's when I actually became, let's say, popular. I
Okay.
was a social butterfly. I was
Hmm.
in every club. I was, and it wasn't intentional. It wasn't an I'm
Right.
showing off kind of thing.
Hmm.
It wasn't, I have such a wide variety of interests from, my ex-boyfriend at the time was a gamer. So I was so nerdy that I was hosting
Hmm.
LAN parties at my
Hmm.
house. We were, waiting in line for Skyrim to come out and then and playing my violin at the Oblivion opening, and then at the
Hmm.
same time I was traveling to DC for the protests for Obama and all of that. So
Hmm.
I was just in so many different groups that I was able to connect with so many different people, and that
Hmm.
made me quite popular, and that just carried on through my years to now, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I don't want to take away from all of that. That's huge. But I do know that you ended up somehow getting into the arts. So you said your violin,
Hmm. Yeah.
and you're performing. So, how did that come about? Because I didn't hear any of that in elementary, middle, high school, university. But now you're talking about violins and performing. Where did that part come from?
So, I always loved music, but like I mentioned, being from a Haitian family, it was not encouraged at all. Um, but I always found a way, even with all the academic stuff, I always found a way to be doing music somehow in the background. I just had to keep it hush hush. Like I remember at one point I had to lie to my mom about I was in like 4 different special choirs, which I had auditioned for in high school. And she didn't know. I was like sneaking out of the house and be like, I have chess team meeting, and I was going off to go sing. And then she caught on one day, and but no, but from the time I was 7, where I was in Catholic school, and you kind of mandatorily like had to either sing in the church choir, school church choir, or play an instrument. I went with singing, loved it. Like I had been singing even in Belgium. My mom said from the time I was a little girl, 4 years old in Belgium, I was already running around singing. And so I did that when I was 10. I really realized I loved music and I loved singing. Auditioned for Disney, auditioned for the Disney Channel, obviously didn't get on. But from that time, I started really kind of taking it seriously. I was youth choir leader for the church because I was very active in church as well. So I was part of the youth ministry. I started writing songs at that time. Nothing good, but I did that. High school was where it took off really. Did some talent shows. I auditioned for The Voice, the US Voice, auditioned for The Voice in Belgium, got a call back. But that was always on the side. That was always like, hey, mom, don't worry. I'm studying engineering. We're all good. Hey, I got straight A's this semester. Don't worry about it. But I was already in choir. In high school, at the end of high school, I met the first choir director, Alison Nielsen. Shout out to her, who really saw something in me and put me in like the Renaissance choir, which was called Madrigals at the time. So I loved that old school Renaissance music, that classical. I was a first soprano back then. And then got into show tunes. And that's where my love of Broadway, musical theater, and all things musical theater started then. And that continued into university, doing all that stuff I was talking about, politics, engineering, and microbiology. I was also in an a cappella choir at the same time. So that just kept going until I was on my own. And once I was on my own abroad, I started to really pursue art more. Got into acting. And once I got into acting, I never looked back. That was my time in Paris. I was in Paris. I was doing the singing thing. I was in an adult music class, like just a group that met to do music. Now, for those of you who haven't lived in Paris, Paris is like a bohemian paradise. There are street musicians are a dime a dozen. And I found myself in one of the local groups. I was performing in cafe bars every single night. I was falling asleep on the riverside, the Seine, with musicians, just playing all night, and people walking in. We had filmed concerts and everything. And then one day I heard that my music school was having an acting class, and the guy who was teaching it was a famous guy who had taught on Star Academy. Star Academy is like The Voice, okay, but for Europe. And I went to the class and fell in love with acting. And from that moment on, I started like shoving into acting and came to Prague, became an actress somehow, ended up in the Prague Shakespeare Theater, where I am a current member and have been working for 4 years, and ended up on stages all over Europe. So that's how the acting started.
That's amazing. So I do have a video of you performing. So I'm going to pop it up on the screen.
Okay.
We're going to watch this video through, and then we're going to let you explain it to us if you don't mind. So
Okay.
once I pull it up, you already know which one it is. So yeah, so we already know where we're at. We know we're good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and play this one on. So we're on the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. We got Fedora with us, and we got to watch this performance, and then we're going to have you please explain it to us when it's all said and done. All right? All right, here we go.
Sorry.
All right.
Oh, what a classic. Oh my God.
That was nice. Absolutely. Oh my God.
That was Prague, Czech Republic, and musical theater in all its glory. That
All
is
right,
what I
all right.
love.
Wow.
That's what I live for. That's what I live for. So that was the time when I was obsessed with this British musical called Six. For anyone who doesn't know,
Mm-hmm.
Six is about Henry VIII's
Eighth, right.
six wives.
Wives.
Okay, so it's such a great. It's great. It's Tony Award winner and everything. Every award that I think it could win.
Right.
And basically, it was like from the perspective of the wives, if the wives had lived, and they're just like going off on Henry and explaining why they shouldn't have died and why they're, like what is their claim to fame, and just riding with it. So that one was, I believe, Don't Lose Your Head, I think was Anne Boleyn, actually. Or yeah, I think it was Anne Boleyn's song. So yeah, that was a homemade video. My ex was filming. He had a good camera. My ex was filming.
Mm-hmm.
We decided together the different locations. I had no idea what to do for choreography, so you kind of see me just winging it, kind of. That was just my first jump into going, I love this musical so much, and I don't know how to do this, but let's just try. And this was also a time where I was in a group of friends where we had started to write our own scripts and film our own movies. Like, we were a group of actors that said, one of them was Asian and there was me. And we said, if they're not casting us, if there are no roles for us, let's just make our own roles and do our own thing and write our own script. We have the camera, we have the lens, we have my ex who's a great, videographer and photographer. We were like, let's just use those. Like, it doesn't have to be high budget. We don't have to have money or sponsors. Let's just do it. And one day we just went out and we did that. And we had a good mic at home. I recorded the sound was done at home. So we recorded in the home studio and did the video and then released it. And I mean, yeah, a lot of people in Prague were walking. You could see everybody was like walking around. Sometimes they were like stopping on the bridge, like, is she famous? What's going on? What's happening? That was my first little home project. Yeah.
When I hear that, it takes me to the Three Sisters in Hamilton, the musical.
Mm-hmm.
It really does. It really does.
Yeah.
And I want to say Eliza, right? Is that
Oh
the
my
old? Yeah.
God,
But when I heard it, I'm like, wow. So
absolutely.
that was good.
That's my
very
go-to karaoke, by the way. Like,
Is that
every
right?
time I go to karaoke here in Prague, because we have a group too, and they're like, Fedora, you gotta do Hamilton, because I always do it. They wrote every letter they sent you. The moment I wrote them, I knew you. That one, and which is the wedding, the one where she's toasting and she's like super sad that she can't marry Hamilton.
Yes,
And no, those are my two go-tos. Yep, those are the ones
But
I'm
I feel
obsessed
that.
with
That's
now.
the energy I feel when I saw that video. Wow.
Hey, Broadway, cast me.
Absolutely.
For real. Hey, if you're listening out there and you're anywhere on Broadway and you're listening to this and they come across your feed, cast her. Fedora's open. I think it's open for
But when you come to DC, we'll just take you around all the karaoke's and crush all the karaoke's.
Yes, that's my favorite.
We'll crush karaoke night everywhere.
That
is crazy.
It's not even a competition, y'all. Like, this is just like, see, what I love about being me and being this type, having this type of energy, like, people just I always get that question, like, oh, well, why are you here? Why don't you go to New York? Or why don't you want to be in Hollywood? No, quite frankly, not really. With all that drama and everything that's
with it, right? Everything that comes with it.
Not at all. I'm not looking for fame. The cool thing about being in Europe and having worked, I've done commercials for Facebook. I've done commercials for big companies. I have a movie on Amazon Prime. I have stuff coming out. I was briefly cast in Netflix as well. Like, what's cool is you can be a working actor, making a living from acting, and you are not quote unquote famous, but you are booking work. You are doing projects. And to me, that is worth so much more. I don't care if if everybody knows me from whatever, from the stage or whatnot, but I'm booking work and I'm working with incredible actors worldwide. And that is amazing. I can call myself an actor because I get paid professionally as an actress. Yeah.
But that takes me back to your energy is infectious, and you don't have this thirst, for lack of a better word, about you. It's just like, okay, let's try this, and I mean that's incredible. I mean, people
Thank
say
you.
life is short, but it's really not. It's only short when you don't make the most of it, and you have really,
Absolutely.
really, really made the most of your situations all the way through. So, and with you, you're a prime example. There's no such thing as a good day or a bad day. It's all in how
Amen.
you
Yep.
look at it. So your perception of it. So
Yes, sir.
you
Absolutely.
you are a walking lesson to a lot of people. So that's good stuff. That is
Thank you
good
so
stuff.
much. Thank you
Absolutely.
so much.
Wow. Sorry,
So
not
now
sorry. Wow.
I guess I want to. I guess I want to learn, where does this energy come from? Where was this? I know, just like, we got this thing that came up from Mama Lines, the newest member. It's like, we know we've been through a lot. We've been through a lot in
Mhm.
your life, but then where was the lemonade? So like life threw a lot of lemons at you. Like you say, with the back and forth with the parents and growing up in different schools, and even you probably had the first GoFundMe before it was a GoFundMe. You had one because it got you through
Pretty,
college. It
pretty
got you through
much.
college. So you pretty much had to go first, go fund me. So,
Pretty
and the spirit is
much.
high. So we already know that there was some downtime, and then it was but what helped you break through all that? Because you could have backed off and said, "Woe is me," but just like, no, I'm not. I got lots more to
Yeah.
do, a lot more. So what was that? What was that energy that pushed you through that door?
Oh my gosh, combination of everything. Part of it, I think, is just innate. I think there's something in me that like refuses to back down. Like, yeah, I'll be down for a bit. Like, I've gone through my struggles of
Hmm.
depression. We ain't even hit on, what I just escaped in Colombia. That's a whole different story, a different chapter. But it's like, yeah, it's easy to go, okay, I'm done. And I had a moment, I can't lie and say I've had to see therapists. I've been in psychiatric wards, actually. I was in a psychiatric hospital at one point for 6 weeks. I've had very down times, but I've always, I think my love of life, my love of music and all of that definitely pushed me. The people that surround me, I have amazing friends all over the world, really all over the world, like from India, China to the States. People who have told me, like, whenever I was down, when I was in the hospital, when I was going through depression, I've always had people around me that said, "We believe in you. Like, you are better than this. Get up." I
Yeah.
had friends who used to physically come to my flat, roll me up in a blanket, pick me up, and be like, "Nah, you're not doing this. We're not allowing you
Mm.
to do this."
Yeah.
And without touting one religion or another, I don't care
Hmm.
what you believe in, because I actually have that. I'm global. I've done the
Hmm.
spirituality route, and I grew up in the church. But having something, whatever that is, whatever you choose for
Hmm.
that to be, having something that you can really believe in, some driving force that makes you feel less alone. Some people turn to spirituality, meditation, whatever that is, but something that pushes you like a fire within. Sometimes you can't find it within yourself, but if you can hold on to whatever that power is that's bigger than you, that you go, okay, universe, I'm
There you
letting
go.
go and I'm trusting in you to bring me through this, because that's where it had to come from. Sometimes I was like,
Yeah.
I don't have it. I'm looking for that strength. I don't have it. I don't know where it is. I see darkness everywhere. And I had to just be like, universe, I'm letting go, do what you will with it. And it's always worked out. Like, it's been a
Right.
roller coaster, peaks
Hmm.
and valleys and peaks and valleys. And as I'm getting older, all it is for me now is just learning how to manage the valleys a little bit more and to appreciate the peaks a lot more. It's really it.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I do say, and this is my little, I guess, teaching moment here. It is not bad to be in the valley. I
Mm.
want you to think about that. A lot of people see, here's the thing. There's a lot of people, all your nourishment and everything is in the valley. See, we have to get to the next mountaintop. Like say, to get to the next mountaintop, you
Yeah.
gotta go through the valley. But all the
Yeah.
nourishment, the water, everything is through the valley. So
Yes.
getting down in the valley, it's not a bad place because that's where you can actually get all the things you need for the big climb. You got to get to the next mountaintop. So I
Yes.
need to
Yes.
get into the valley sometimes. And the problem with sometimes we stay in the valley. We don't keep
Mhm.
going. Like, all right, I'm good here. I'm not going to go any further. I finally made it. But we getting in the valley is not a bad thing. It really isn't. So a lot of times people say, yes, peaks and valleys, and they look at the valley as the negative side of it. But it was like,
Mhm.
that's not the negative. Because really, when you get at the top of the mountain, I just think about that. There is nothing up there that's healthy for you. There's nothing to eat up there.
Nothing.
There's no
Yeah.
water up there. There's no air up there. There's nothing at the top of the dang mountain that's good for you, except the accomplishment. Except the accomplishment. So
Hey,
once you
it's a
get up
good
there,
view.
Yeah.
it's a good view.
Nice view.
It's a good view. But everything that's good for you is in the
Mhm.
valley. And then you
Yes.
think about it, even if we go into the scripture side of it, the ministry or the Bible side of it, that's where God said he was with you, or David said, you were with me. When I was walking through the valley, you were with me. You're my shepherd. You were guiding me. You fed me. You did all of this was when I was in the valley. So it's not bad. So if you ever find yourself in that situation, I'm talking to you and anyone else who's watching this, it's not bad to be in the valley.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of your valley time, your valley experience, so that you can be ready for the next journey to get to the next mountaintop. Because survival is hard at the top of the mountain. You don't hear about so many people, people that climb to the top of Mount Everest. There's thousands who don't make it.
Who don't make it? His body's
Yeah.
everywhere. Yeah.
But
Corpses
they don't
everywhere.
make it to the top. But it's like the accomplishment. I want to get there. I got to do it. Yes, but
Yeah.
you wasn't prepared to get there. The valley is what prepares to get to the next mountain. So, so happy to have you on here. I really am. I mean, it's just amazing, for you to even share your story. But what I want, because I know you mentioned, because you briefly ran through it, but you've been in 9 countries, right? And 4 continents. And I know you speak multiple languages. 2 things I got to ask you on it. Did you ever get to Haiti? Did you ever make it?
I was thinking that, Jack. I'm like, have you ever been to Haiti?
Did you ever make it
That's
to
a
Haiti?
good question. I did make it. I did make
Okay.
it twice. I made it
Okay.
twice. Well, the
Congratulations.
first time I got there, I got malaria and I went right back to Belgium
Okay. All right.
because I got sick and they didn't have very good doctors over there at that
Okay.
time. And the second time I went with my birth mother, but oh man, I was 9, 8. She was doing her dissertation in Haiti because she was trying to finish her diploma from Haiti. So I got to actually go and see the family. It's when I saw my grandmother, my biological grandmother, for the first time, and some of the cousins. And yeah, but I never made it back since then because the country has been utter chaos. And as much as I've fought and advocated for Haiti, I always have. Like, I was always politically active and I always talked about being from Haiti, tried to start organizations to help the country, but I could never actually get back. To this day, I'm still like, okay, when will I be able to go back? Because the country's gotten worse and worse and worse.
Right.
So,
Wow. Now, I was going to ask you that part too, not so much with Haiti, but how are you received in the different countries you go? Because I know as a person of, we say, of color, or some would say African American. I don't know if you label that because you were born in America, but do you consider, but having that darker skin tone, how's that received in the different countries, even the countries you're living in, and how are you received, and what is it like?
So I say Haitian American,
Asian American.
right? But okay, it really depends on the country. It also depends on the time period. So when I went to China, this was in 2013. They were all over me. I mean, it was mixed, but I actually felt overall positive, and it was because of my mindset. I attracted stares, crowds, photos. I literally said people threw their babies at me, like would just come out. Like I was climbing the Great Wall of China and this just random people just waiting in a line to take photos. Why? Because I'm probably the first and last Black person these people will ever have seen in their lives. And I was taking pictures with random kids. I got invited to these people's wedding and was sat at the table of honor. I didn't know who these people were. They just they were like friends of a musician that I played with, and they were like, "Oh, the black girl, oh, she teaches at the bring her to the wedding." And I was just walking on the street, and just like that, I ended up in a wedding and taking pictures with the bride and groom. Didn't know who they were, so that was like, it was fine. Now, kids who had never seen black people were scared. Kids would run into my classroom, come touch my hand, and then run out, point at me, scream. That happened this week, actually. I was teaching in a village here in Czech Republic, and one kid ran down the hallway screaming to the other teacher, "There's a black person walking around the school." And the teacher had to be like, "Calm down. She's a fellow teacher. She's allowed to be here." So most of it has been okay, has been positive, but I would say curiosity. But then you've got the negative side, okay? Czech Republic is a tough one. It broke me. Like, oddly enough, the racism I've experienced here has been the worst I've experienced anywhere in the world. It's really weird to say that. I've had great moments, and I don't want to say anything negative about the entire country, because the villages have been amazing. But what I will say is that this country used to be a communist country not so long ago. I think the revolution was in the 90s for them. So that's very recent. The country was not used to foreigners. Yes, you have a lot of black foreigners walking around here, but that's in the city center. They don't live in Prague. In the surrounding areas where you live in Prague, there is a lot of microaggression. I've had parents pull their kids away from me on a metro tram. This happens once a day. There's a person who will not sit down on the tram or on the metro or on the bus next to me because of my skin color. Nasty attitudes, preconceived notions. You get it a lot. There's a lot of tired black people in Czech Republic, I would say, in Prague specifically, that I know of. People are tired. There's brutality. The worst I've seen it worse here than in the States. Very racist, right wing or extremist white people beating on black people, calling them monkeys, doing all of that stuff, all the foolishness. And it's really sad, but it's because this country hasn't been exposed for as long to black people and to brown people. I mean, it's not just black people, it's Hispanics. I have Hispanic friends who left, who just couldn't deal with it. So living in Czech Republic was a mental strain in that sense. And that's one of the reasons I ended up in a psychiatric ward for 6 weeks. Just, it was part of the mental anguish and anxiety and pile up. Yeah. Belgium is definitely better. Belgium is like the seat of the European Union and Parliament, so it's much more open. UK, great mix of people. People don't like Paris, but France was actually not that bad. You have plenty of Middle Eastern people, North Africans, Black people. So the hardest place for me has been this country.
Right.
Wow.
So for those who are out there, just throwing this out there, my little disclaimer, that we don't normally speak politics and we don't speak religion, and not that we're even going down that road. The big thing is a lot of times we don't get to hear how it is for anyone who wants to travel international. So a lot of times you think, hey, I'm going to go here. I want to see this, because you might have seen a postcard or whatever, but you need to prepare yourself and actually do the research on what it's going to be like for you when you get there. I've been to Paris, I've been to the UK, been to Japan, been to Korea, and I've never ran across any of those situations where anyone came across me wrong because of the color of my skin and all. But just being African American, people are curious. Like you said, the curiosity is there, and being an American, there's a hatred regardless, because they just don't like you as the country that you're from. So those are the things, and why I appreciate you, Fedora, letting us know, because of the fact is, the spirit that you have and the happiness and the bubbly and jumping around. I'm like, okay, hey, I'm on my way to the Czech Republic. I'm going out there.
Now, this disclaimer, because again, I've been here for 5 years, right? So obviously they must be doing something right as well, right?
Right, because you're there.
It is. Right. It's always going to be about your attitude. Like I studied peace and conflict. So I literally always wanted to put myself in the situations where there's conflict and make peace. you just got to make the best of every situation. If you stay positive, if you know, you don't let those little things irk you too much, you will make amazing connections wherever you go in the world, because every single place in the world has amazing people in it. Yes. And every single place in the world has people who are not so, you know, who are not so great. That's not a country specific thing. That's just keep your attitude positive. I've made friends in every single country I've lived in. I've loved it. My students love me. Those negative experiences are 1 or 2 or 3 over the course of 13 years. So don't let that discourage you from traveling to any country you want to go to, you know?
And the biggest advantage you have with that too, and Walt, I see you bubbling on there. I got you big, but it's you can speak the language.
There you go.
That helps a lot.
The ability to communicate.
Want everybody to speak. So I remember going, I was in Paris, I'm getting off, and I'm sitting there, I walk up and I just needed some change because I didn't know that the bathrooms took coins to get into the bathroom inside of the train station. And I go in there and I'm handing them what is the money from France? Not France, but the UK. But anyway, I took my UK money. I took my UK money to Paris. They ain't having it. They don't want that stuff down here. And I'm speaking English. Like, you can step up out of my little. You can step up out of my place. Yeah. So it's like, and I'm like, So you speaking English, no. And you
that hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't. No, so it wasn't about the skin tone. And I think Mama Lion said the same thing down there. The experience wasn't about being African American. It was about being American. They had an issue with you being American here, not the fact that you are African American.
What did you say when you got the change? How did you thank the person, or was that a different experience?
I can tell you where I made my mistake.
There you go. That one right there. Give me that one.
I'll tell you about the story. I'm gonna tell you the story. So
please give us that one.
We was in Europe for a vacation. So we went to we was in the UK for most of the days, but we were going to do a 1-day trip to Paris. So we caught the train, the Eurostar from London down to Paris. Spent the day down there. Got to go in the Eiffel Tower. Went through the Louvre. Went through Notre Dame before the fire. So this is what that time frame. So we was in there before the fire. So we got to see a lot of this stuff. But now we got to get back to the train station, and it's 5 of us in the party. So it's me, my wife, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, 3 of my boys. So it's 5 of us in this party trying to get back to the train station. So we're gonna catch a cab. Well, they had the police right there, so you couldn't overflow the cab. They couldn't put too many people in the cab. So the cab driver was like, I can only put 3 or 4. I can't put 5 people in here. And I'm like, but we need to get back to the train station because we don't want to miss the last train out to get back to the UK. So the cab driver looks over his shoulder. He said, okay, I'll get y'all in. So I'm super happy. I jump in the cab and everybody's in the cab. I'm super happy. I'm looking over my shoulder because we don't want to get arrested in Paris trying to catch a cab. That don't make sense. So I jump in the cab and I say, gracias.
Oh no,
no, man.
And my youngest son at the time was probably 5 years old, maybe 5 years old at the most. And he was like, gracias. Like, gracias? How the heck you say gracias?
Hey, man, it's the go-to. That's what you went.
I was just so happy that he put it in the cab. I was speaking
oh my God.
Anyway, we got back to the train station, got back to Europe, but that was my European, that was my French experience with talking to a cab driver and thanking him by using the term gracias.
And they were like, the next cab driver he saw, he was like, these stupid Americans.
Yeah.
Of course, they hate, listen to this, they hate, even I'm part Belgian, right? So my mom and I went to France. The Belgians and the French have a very lovely rivalry. But like, we went into a thing on the Champs-Élysées or whatever, and my mom was asking them a question in French. Okay, Belgian French, but French. And the lady's like, oh, I don't understand. And we're like, ma'am, I know you understand. This is the same French. It's the same French. It's just not Parisian enough.
Mhm.
So they're like that with everyone. Even when you do speak French, they just want
Okay.
a reason to get an attitude
Well, when you
sometimes.
speak Spanish, they really don't like you.
That's
Oh
not
man,
it. That's not good. No.
Yeah. Oh, hey, Jack, and the one that kills me is when people try to use the accent, but you're still speaking English.
Yeah.
Like that's going to
Yeah.
work. And
No,
then,
definitely.
back to what you said earlier, Fedora, it's like, a lot of people project their ignorance on other folks,
Yeah.
and a person like you in your position with your level of self-awareness, I can see why an ignorant, unexposed person will look at you and be like, oh yeah, well she, and not even seeing your backstory, because you have every reason to be mad, angry, disappointed, and I'm, pissed off, if I may. But that's not you, so basically, you're a mirror. So people are forced to look at you and question themselves.
Right.
I mean, like even with us, and we're friends here. I mean, we are connected. You're in a safe place. But I'm just looking at your life and I'm like, man, I mean, like, so the Commanders lost today, man. That was terrible. But I'm like, wow. So, I mean, I got to deal with these Cowboys fans. And at 61 years old, I'm used to what comes with being who I am in the United States. It's like no big deal. I mean, we're accustomed to it, right? And it's like, I'm used to walking into situations and people talking to other folks, not knowing that I'm the person that's in charge of the scene there. I'm used to that. But with you, like I said, without speaking in language, I don't know how you would have done it, but I mean, I'm sure you would have figured it out. But you just make it look so easy. I can see how that can rub people the wrong way. Like, who does she think she is? So yeah. So you have a level of self-awareness that's incredible. I appreciate you.
Oh,
I'm
thank
glad we
you.
got to meet you. And the Big Jack will give you all the perks of being on the show. But I got to tell you, if you ever make it this way,
Thank you.
and I'm going to go to was it IMDb? Does that follow
Yes.
you over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm expecting big things from you, and
Oh,
we
thank
get to say,
you.
wow, we remember when, So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and
Look, all these box seats at your Broadway opening for sure or something.
oh
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, absolutely.
man, oh
Yeah.
my
Oh
God, that's
man.
crazy. Absolutely. I got one question, and I'm gonna let, and then I'm gonna let you go, Jack. You mentioned your cameraman at your for your video, right? And I'm just no names. I'm just speaking generically here. And this is game for all the how old are you? 35? You
Yes.
35-year-olds. This is game
35.
for all the 35-year-olds. The woman with your experience. A man approaches you wherever. How does that go? Because I can see where guys would be like, especially college level, because you was totally past your peers in college, and long and ever since then clearly. But how does that go? I mean, what is a guy like? How do guys are like? I don't know what to say to this woman, man. I mean, or do they just run from you? How does that go? How does that go? Explain that to me, please.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. My gosh.
Be
See,
honest.
this is the no. Well,
Uh-huh.
this is the irony of it all. Both of my ex-boyfriends, yeah, I actually wasn't in that many relationships
Okay.
because of one, I'm a very serious person. So
Absolutely serious.
once I'm in that relationship, I will do whatever I can do to make it work. My first one was 6 years, and my second one was 5 years, and the last one was just a big mistake, and that was 3 years. But that's it. Like I didn't I don't know. They were both nerds. They were actually the opposite of
Okay.
what you could even think. I met one of them was in university and he was my math tutor. The other one, the one who was filming, he was in my poetry group. He was actually the quietest of the poetry group. And we connected completely intellectually, both in both cases. There
And the
was
reason
no
I'm
pickup
asking you
line,
this,
nothing.
the reason I'm asking this is because I'm talking to all the guys out there, all the 35-year-old single guys out there. I see that this is a very serious woman here,
Yeah.
So the typical and I'm not going to, break the man code, but the typical things that men will say to women when they're interested, because, sometimes we don't say the right things, or we just kind of blow it right off the bat. But you are a serious person. So, you're not caught up in the norm. I mean, a man can't come at you with the normal stuff. So I want the 35-year-old guys to see this is a level of get your game together that most 35-year-old guys can't figure out, So this is
just be yourself, but don't come
say
with
that
these
again.
weird. Be yourself.
Say it again.
Don't put on a face. Don't put on a
There
game.
you
Don't
go.
come with pickup lines or
There
weird.
you go.
To me, that's so weird. Just
There you go.
you literally just talk to me. Hey, how are you? What's your background? From talking like that, a normal conversation, I will get interested because I will pick up on who you are as a person, what you've done, what are you doing in your life. None of this showing off stuff. I don't care what brands. Neither of my exes wore brand name anything. They were nerds who were actually quiet. They were respectful to me, and that's really all it was.
And that part right there, and I need that to come from you, because if you listen to today's just the music alone in that cohort, you would think that it's all of these other things. And the reality of it is it's not. And this being a gentleman, being honest, being respectful, being a decent person travels all around the world. And you're a prime example of that. So
it melts a woman's heart, or a woman like me anyway. It melts our heart just to meet a gentleman, just to meet someone who's not like everybody else caught up in the game. Honestly.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Fedora, look, we could talk all night, and I know it's more early in the morning for you, so I don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot it's 2 o'clock.
Truly appreciate you being a trooper for us, and this has been a pleasure having you on the stage. We're going to ask you to hang back for us just for a little while, if you don't mind.
No problem.
This out, and I
no problem.
You. For everyone that's out there, we just said, hey, thank you for tuning in to the Iron Sharpening Iron Show. We definitely, we are stronger together. And if each one could reach one, we can all grow and glow. If you haven't hit your memberships button yet, or hit that membership button, become a member. We know that merchandise is out there. If you want to get your shirts, we got almost every shirt out there. Every spinoff has a shirt. Every team member has a shirt. So make sure you get those shirts or whatever you can. And again, if you haven't already put it in the comments, put that hashtag Grow and Glow together so we get your name up on the wheel of names, and we'll be making the drawings for prizes during the We Be Jamming live show. So if you're not on the wheel, make sure you get your name on the wheel. But until next time, and the next time is going to be a very special show. Not like this one was super special. It's going to be a special show on the next one too. But with all that being said, we ask you to stay sharp. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time on Iron Sharpening Iron Show. Fedora, thank you for showing.
Thank you, Fedora.
Thank you
so
guys
much
for having me. What an honor. Thank you so much.
That was ours. Thank you.